and he will tell you a lot about himself as well. So let us welcome Dr. Ken Chow, our keynote speaker today.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Well, I guess all of you see my profile picture earlier, and that picture took me about an hour because the photographer tried to say, like, Ken, can you smile? You know, it's like, I have a hard time to smile when I dress suit and tie because I used to work in undercover. Not in the law enforcement, but in a corporate environment. So, and the reason I took the picture is my image consultant told me, Ken, you know, like, since you're working for the financial industry right now, you have to change your image. My hair color was either red or purple before. And when I go to job interview or something and they look at my resume and they look at me, they do an in-depth background check on me because of the way I look. I did work for LAPD, on China Sheriff Department, Department of Defense, Secret Service as a consultant before, and they did a lot of background on me. But after a while, they get used to how I look, so I'm okay with that. Until recently, I bought actually a commercial franchise, so I need to change my image to look like more business person. Okay, so. And yes, I'm a licensed private investigator. And I think all of you will see a movie like this is typically how a PI looks like, right? Am I correct? Anybody disagree? Well, in my field, most of my colleagues, actually in my team, the investigator, that's how we look like. Because we need to blend into the people. And do any of you remember 21st Jump Street? Johnny Depp? Then you know how I am. You know, like that TV series, Johnny Depp actually is undercover in high school and college to investigate crime within the school environment. So this is the ideal way of a high-tech investigator look like, all of you. That's a good way because you can blend into different environments, and this is a great demand outside right now. Well, a little bit about the PI industry. Anyone of you heard of Pickenton? He's the founder, actually the one who created the PI industry in the United States. He did save Lincoln one time, but not the second time. What he did before is a lot of rumor said he was a criminal. But they hired him to conduct investigation during the Civil War and provide like a covert action inside the Confederation military to collect intelligence for the Union Army. And also after the end of the war, his job is mostly protect the railroad. You know, there's a lot of robbery in the railroad that time, you know, the cowboy movie. And also like he investigated union activity, organized labor union. He also like do a lot of investigation on other, like at that time called high tech, you know, like Moscow thing and a lot of different things. But he is kind of like set up the footprint for the CIA agency. But it's not really official, but his work is become one of the Bible of the CIA operation. And in the old days, and still right now, this is mostly the traditional PI work. Like finding people, like I owe you money, you know, I went away, we call escape tracing, so we hire a private skater, and we use a computer today. We can find out all your 20 years history, all your friends, your parents, and I have the database also, you know. So we can see everybody around your neighborhood, including your relative. So I can identify the possible location of you with the computers. In the old days, I have to go to the court and library search for record. But right now, all I need is a computer with a wireless. And I pay like about $10 a month subscription. So it's not expensive. So like what you hear this morning is your information is out there. And every time when I receive my first free trial, I have my friend run their background report. They all surprised what they find out. I can see like their parents' relative in the United States and all the property they own in just like a typical background report is about 100 pages for a person, a normal person. Can you imagine if someone have a lot of different background, how thick is their profile in the internet? And surveillance. Surveillance is like, definitely that's not the kind of surveillance you want to do. You know, like nobody would dress like that to follow people around. People would dress like normal people to do full surveillance. And also today we have high-tech surveillance using IP camera. And I can feed a wireless camera almost inside a secret box. So, and using computer to do analyzing and recording in a remote location. And undercover operation is pretty popular and really high demand in the business world today for business intelligence purpose and also in inside investigation. And do you know like process serving is? It's like people knock on your door in the morning and say, hey, you are served, this is a court paper, you're serving court. This is like one thing we still do part-time, you know, like as a supplemental income. But it's kind of fun sometimes, you know, like you knock the door and someone point a gun at you and you run. So this industry is not just about technology, it's also about a lot of investigative experience like same in the law enforcement and the CIA and FBI. And the high tech, this is what you guys are interested in, and that's what I'm focused on. In this area, you don't see people walking around anymore, and this is kind of like my office look like, with a lot of monitors and phones. So we do a lot of business intelligence this day. Let's say like, I have a call yesterday, and I have a client want to find out his competitor, who's their vendor. So what do I do with that? Anybody have a suggestion? Okay. Most of the time on case like that, we don't go hack into the computer because it's illegal. Okay. What we do is we go to their trash can during a certain hour, and we have to understand the city limit, the law. Can we take away the trash? Because if we dump the trash in the public area, it belongs to everybody. So if we can find like a shipping label and a statement, invoice, then we can identify the vendor. This is the old tech way. And loss prevention is like, if you go to Macy's and many major department stores, you can realize that there's a lot of surveillance camera on top of you. And actually there's a lot of counter, they have a sensor. If you move like merchandise like a little bit, they have an alert inside the room like this, and the camera will zoom into you. And that's how it is in the back end, without your knowledge. Criminal defense is like, it's a really dangerous work, so I do not recommend any people want to get in and go into this area, because you have criminals that really will say that if you cannot get me out of jail, I will kill you. You have cases like that too. And most interestingly, TSCM, technical surveillance countermeasure, buzzword. I have a lot of call about like, people say the CIA put bug in my house, the aliens adopt me, and this is like every week I got called like that. And the interesting part is they do pay. I don't take most of the case, but there are certain cases that I have a reasonable belief that they might be surveilled by other people. So like we go out there to the house with the high-tech equipment to do bus sweeping. And I will share more about this in a little bit later. And the hardest expertise out there, if you guys are computer major, make sure that you go to do like some experience in digital forensic and computer forensic, aka polygraph. Polygraph is a really interesting concept because in the state of California, you don't need to be licensed to be a polygraph examiner. All you can do is just go internet, buy a software, install on your laptop, about $3,000, and then you can advertise yourself as a polygraph examiner. What it does is like, polygraph is 50% technology, 50% of you. What it does is they put a sensor on your body. At the same time, the examiner, the investigator, will ask you a series of baseline questions. Is your name is that? Is your birthday? Is that some question that they know you're telling the truth? And then they will start asking the question they want to find out to see the difference between a heartbeat. That's how the paragraph works. And I can tell you that even that a lot of people say it's not submittable in court, but you can see that court and defense attorney and also prosecutor, they do rely on paragraph sometimes. Like the example in the Dodger Stadium. The LAPD and the defense attorney, both of their paragraph examiner, interviewed the suspect and he passed. So this is the reason the LAPD have to let the person go. So it is kind of still submittable in court. It's an opinion. And the last thing is intelligent analysis. This is my background. I learned this from IT. Back in 1999, I was a network engineer inside a jail. I managed all the router, they don't have firewall at that time, router and switches inside a jail environment. And just pretty a boring environment. So I got a lot of time to talk to a different department, like the high-tech crime unit, identity protection, and also they have a library about the case, what the criminal did, and also all kind of weapons they make from the jail. So I learned a lot from the sheriff department at that time. And especially when I worked with the high-tech crime unit, they kind of start sharing information with me. So this is the reason I get in this field, because I want to use my knowledge to save people's lives. This is the whole purpose of I'm doing this. Well, intelligent analysis. First of all, open source intelligence. When I say open source intelligence, a lot of people are thinking Linux. Open source intelligence is not really technology focused. It was there since 100 years ago, when people go out and collect newspaper or people photograph and interview people, and then they start posting on the wall and try to do some kind of link analysis. And today, open source intelligence, we use the social media. We look at your profile and we look at what you post in the internet, and we can find out about what kind of person you are. And we use statistical information to produce a trend analysis. What you see here is the World Trade Center bombing. It looked like a video. Actually, it is. What they did is they replaced the host name, the IP address, with the phone number and the name of the suspect, and try to link them together to see how the network works. So you can apply the same skill in the law enforcement as well. Future study. Anyone heard that before? Future study. Future study is like trading stock. You collect information from the past, and the present to analyze what is the most foreseeable outcome of the future. Almost all the stock traders, they use that. Those graphs is trend analysis. And the law enforcement today, and also intelligent analysts, they use the trend analysis to forecast possible terrorist attack this day. And they use computers and a lot of graphic, and they use open source as well. They collect those from all the blog and all the Facebook page and Twitter to kind of draw some kind of network, like something similar to this. And with the future study and open source intelligence, they plug into the risk assessment process. This is two cases I want to share with you why this is important. I believe more of you remember the Columbia High School incident. Actually, the suspect, because they never prosecute in court, so I can only call that suspect, they had posted their idea and what they might want to do in the internet for 2 years already. It's a public information. But at that time, we do not have a technology that we can call the internet to find out those information. And there's also one incident that recently is the man crashed his plane into the IRS building. Before he crashed the plane, he did post his last will in the internet as well, before the incident. After I look at these two incidents, I'm thinking if we can use our technology, and we can use our knowledge, is that possible to prevent such incident? That's more. There's a lot of workplace violence, before they commit the crime, they will post on the internet because they want someone to stop them. If nobody responds, they will think, well, nobody cares anymore, I'm going to do it anyway. So if we have analysts today, like you guys, can get into this area and find out this risk and this threat to notify law enforcement, we may be able to save some life. This is one example of open source intelligence. This is the website, reportfuture.com. Actually, you can go in there, you can sign up for a free alert. You may post your name there and they give you like free alert every day, like what they have in the internet, what's the trend. So you start kind of get a feel of how the open source intelligence works. This is a really like a flow chart. First of all, they have a search engine. They crawl the entire internet, most of the time with like 20 different languages to match the keyword you would look for. And then they plug into the correlation engine and produce a trend report like a stock trading report. But just the report itself, it won't tell you what's going on. It will rely on you to determine what will happen in the future. So this is like part of the future study as well. And future study, there's two main kinds, and first one is autonomous future analysis, and the second one is my favorite, called analysis of competing hypotheses. You actually can go to the website and download a free software, and then they also have free scenario for you to plug in to create some kind of report. And actually, I believe you can send the report to them, they can grade your paper for free. It's open source right now. And risk assessment. This is the two risk assessment I learned. One is by NSA, one is by Carnegie Mellon University. Actually, it uses in IT, but I started using the same method in the intelligent analysis method. Because it's pretty much the same. You plug in all your critical assets, what you need to protect in one area, and then you plug in all the information you collect from the open source world, and also like the human intelligence. And with that, we kind of provide a high, medium, low risk of what will happen and what's a threat. NSAIM and Octave, they both open source. So we can go to the website, you can download the methodology on that one. Well, how to get there? I'm not an IT major, I'm a business major. Even I was in IT for about 20 years, I think I only took 2 programming classes. The rest is business class, accounting, finance. But I see a trend that like currently today, you will see law enforcement, like we have one gentleman today, will get into this area to study like the high-tech crime. But I don't see that many like computer science or IT major people going to learn about law enforcement. Maybe they think that, well, computer and law enforcement is not related. But today's world is different. Actually, they're closely related, even in the business world. What you learn in law enforcement or military can easily plug into your corporate environment and use that to help the corporate either make more money or protect the people in there. And my suggestion is, if you are any of this major, take some paralegal study, some legal class, tort, criminal laws. It will help you to communicate with the legal counsel and also the law enforcement with the IT background. Because if you talk to the counsel, the lawyer about like IP address, subnet, pain of blood attack, they won't understand what you're talking about. So you have to learn the language to generate a report for them that they can understand. They will pay you really good money for that. I can give you an example. When I worked for one company, during the TJ Maxx incident, I was hired as a contractor under General Dynamics, and General Dynamics is under Secret Service. I was in the DoD department as an IT guy. So you still will get in there. But my work is I have to translate about 300 pages of log file, firewall, routers, and forensic report into one-page video, and present it to legal counsel what's going on. It took me about 2 weeks to do that. It's not a lot of time. But my company, not me, billed the client $375 an hour. and I only got paid 50 an hour. So you can see the potential for income from this field is huge. Any suggestion you make to the legal counsel can help the company save millions of dollars a month easily. Like another example, when I work for a pharmaceutical company, they hire outside consultant to do hard drive imaging. They charge the company about $250 an hour or sometimes $100 per gig. If you have a 100 gig hard drive, times 100, that's how much they charge per system. So I just started training to teach the IT people how to properly image a hard drive. It took about an hour to learn that. And it saved the company about $5 million a month on litigation expense. So you can see your value in a corporate environment, but by using your IT knowledge and legal knowledge at the same time. And also I suggest that when you're still in college, try to work in this different industry, restaurant, warehouse, finance, because if you choose the route to be an investigator, you may do a lot of undercover work. So it's better for you to familiar with those environments. I do undercover for DirecTV on their privacy issue. I go to business, I identify the illegal box, and then tape it, send it. They will get about a $10,000 ticket for that. And I got paid about $300 per incident. It took about 5 minutes to do one. So 5 minutes, $300. So you can see the potential as well. And the other thing is a lot of people don't understand. Join your local ghost hunting group. The reason being is, I try to explain to a lot of my colleagues, IT colleagues, why Ken, what's wrong with you? How come you think you can make a relation with the IT, security, and ghost hunting? I try to explain to them, go watch ghost hunting or TAP every night. See what they use. They use electronic device, EMF, electronic magnetic field sensor. They also interview the client about the incident, the paranormal activity over there, and also they do audio video analysis. At the end, they also do surveillance with infrared camera. We use the same technique in high-tech investigation, and this is a safe way for you to practice this skill. You use the same thing. You go in, you interview the client, you put your device in place, and you do your surveillance, audio recording, analysis, and you provide report to the client. Exactly the same thing when you're in a high-tech crime investigation environment. You do the same thing. So I highly encourage you to, learn from the ghost hunting group so you know how to use all the devices and skills. And also one thing I did when I worked in a jail is I talked to inmates. That's the main reason at that time I start coloring my hair. I don't wear suit and tie inside the jail. I wear a white t-shirt, a jeans, so I look like an inmate. So I talk to different inmates to understand their mindset, why they commit a crime and how they do it. And at the same time, I talk to everybody, homeless people, doesn't matter, to learn how they are, because this is important for you to understand human beings. When you do investigation, high-tech investigation, it's not just about computer, it's about human communication. You talk to people, you don't talk to the computer. The computer is a tool. The more knowledge about, the problem I see today is, the more knowledge about computers, it draw you away from communicating with real human beings. We text people now. We don't really talk to people anymore. But when most of the criminals, they commit a crime, they use technology as a tool. They still commit a crime physically. You cannot investigate a crime just by virtual. You have to physically talk to the person and understand how the human work. And also, you can find a mentor. I can be your mentor, or you can go to your local sheriff department, talk to them. If you're a relative, they're law enforcement, arrange a trip to the jail, or there are a lot of sheriff departments that welcome students to take a look at their cybercrime center, so you can learn from them and may possibly get a job over there as well. And most importantly, as a private investigator, I always have unhappy customer. And also the opposite side have unhappy customers as well. So it's really important for you to protect yourself. You have to learn how to protect yourself. The bad thing is like martial art and hand technique. Personally, I practiced martial art for 20 years. Not the sport kind, actually, like I fought in tournament, though, kind of like street fighting for 10 years to learn a different skill. And also like get the training on taste at baton. But remember, baton, you need a permit to carry a baton. You can go to a lot of training school, get your guard card, and get your baton permit, but just don't just buy a baton and carry around because you'll get arrested. And the other thing is, well, I would see it as an option because like there's so many people don't like guns. But at the same time that there are a lot of people, they will use a firearm against you at the same time. I attend tactical firearm training every quarter. Tactical firearm training is not you stand there and you're shooting the paper target. Either the target is running or you're running, and you're shooting at the same time. And you learn different technique. The reason being is you learn it not to hurt people, but to protect yourself and your family from the unhappy client. They will shoot you. They have a case like that. Remember when I said when you do criminal defense, they really mean that. Even they are in the jail, they always have friends out there that can go after you. So you have to be careful when you really get into this field. You have to learn how to protect yourself. And in conclusion, well, like I said before, investigation is all about communication with people. Since there's no set formula about how a person thinks, it is all about the experience of being a human. Use evidence from the past and present, which means you can collect from the technology, from the computers, with the addition of imagination to provide a feel for your client. Imagination is the key, and communication is also the key. There's a lot of time, criminals are really creative how to commit a crime. I'll give you an example. Even when I work in the jail, they figure out how to use newspaper to put in water, squeeze it, and dry to make a steak. They also figure out how to use an ink pen to make a tattoo machine. And also like the others, like a toothpaste as a knife, things like that. You have to be more creative than the criminal out there in order for you to compare with them. You cannot just rely on the computers. Because a lot of time, when you work for the security department, IT security department, you are using $1 million infrastructure against one person with a $300 laptop. Does that make sense? You have a team of 10 people, $1 million infrastructure, just against one person, one laptop. What's wrong with this picture is we are too reliant on the technology. The attacker, he's knowledgeable with the tool, the computer. He can launch an attack to take down $1 million network. If we cannot do the same thing, we cannot think as they are, our cost of the IT security will keep going up, and they will have less budget to hire the real people. Remember, this is the key. If they think that by putting more technology is more safe, they will stop hiring people. So it's relying on you guys to spread the message out there. Yes, technology is great, but don't forget about the human. We are using human to protect human. If the employer understands that, then I'm pretty sure the IS security job field will go back up again. And that concludes my presentation, and if you have any further questions, feel free to email me or go to my website, send me a message. And it's Q&A time.
Any questions?
Any questions? Just ask. Come on, don't be shy. Yes.
I just want to say I enjoyed it. It was very fascinating, and I'm sure you have tons of stories to tell. Very, very interesting.
Thank you. Any question about how to get into the field and what class you should take or anything like that, career-wise? Anybody look for job? Yes. Well, let's say I'm a business major. But at the same time, like back in those days, like when the IT is booming, I took Well, Microsoft, Cisco. Actually, my first real IT job, I was a network engineer inside the jail. That's how I combine the two things together. So it's not really, first of all, you have to have a major that you like. Let's say you like business, then you may take some like an IT class to help you to get in this field. It's not necessary to be just an IT major. You can be criminal justice major, you can be a finance major as well. Especially finance major, there's a high demand of forensic accountant today. Good pay. Any other question? Yes?
What's the median salary?
Well, this year I don't want to talk about it. This year's really, really bad. The median salary. Okay. As a junior investigator back in 2009, I was making 200K a year. That's a junior level. And I think that's about, you see people making like 250 plus bonus, and you also see like, maybe 50,000 sometimes. So it depends on what you try to sell to your employer. If you just walk in and tell them, well, I'm an IT guy, no firewall, okay, 50,000 a year. But if you walk in, you tell them, I know firewall and I know legal thing. I can talk to the counsel. I can save you $1 million a year. That is a different story. There's a reason like pay me high because I have a paralegal experience. And any other questions? Come on. Yes.
Have you done any ghost hunting?
Once, just once. Because when I first started, I'm thinking like, the reason I do ghost hunting is not because ghost hunting. I want to create an interest for the younger person. Actually, my associate degree is EE, electronic engineering. That's my associate degree. And I see today that the young people are more going to party, club, testing, and I want to create some kind of fun hobby that go back to the electronic. So you learn the basic electronic stuff and more safe environment. That's why I created Ghost Hunting Club. But at the same time, I got laid off at the same time. So that's camp got canceled. And right now I got to pick up a lead contract for a bank right now, so I'll probably start this again. Any other question? It's okay, just ask me. If you want to learn, like, I have about 15 minutes. Okay. I have been working for 10% of the Fortune 500 company, P&G and all the, I know the culture. If you want to learn about, is all of you like a CIS major or an IT major? Most of you? Yeah, you can ask me about like how's the career field out there, like things like that, and the corporate culture. Oh, Walmart. I was in Walmart. Walmart's an interesting place. I was in Arkansas, Bentonville, Arkansas for 9 months doing one of the investigation, credit card thing. And it's nothing but farms. And they call it home office. And in Walmart, the culture is they inventory every pen and pencil and paper you use, and you have to clean your own table and dump your own trash. This is the reason that Fortune 1 company, they control all the Walmart store internationally. The AC, they control it in Bentonville, Arkansas. So the local Walmart store have no control of the AC. That's how they save electricity. So I can share information like this to you, and I work with a couple of different contractors. It's interesting place as well. And most importantly, be careful about your Facebook posting. When I work for law enforcement, doing my background check, the first thing they will check is my Facebook. A lot of people will put like weird picture on their Facebook, like the gun, party, drunk. That's a big no-no. Make sure you clean up your Facebook. Facebook, all the social media, social network, at least before the interview. Because I can still I do background investigation for a lawyer. Even you delete it, someone may forward your page somewhere else. I still find my picture like 10 years ago. I thought I deleted it, but still there. So be careful on what you post on the internet. Any other question? Yes. Well, it's not entirely true. It requires some social engineering or pre-testing. Off the record, supposedly, mostly social network, you have to be a member to look at other people's profile. So social network is not 100% open source. It's not public. But investigator will mostly create an account to impersonate another person, do pre-testing. A lot of people when say request to join your group or with a friend, people don't look, they just accept. That's how people get a profile. They have to do some pre-testing, and also when you go to the mall, you see win a car, you put your name and phone number. That's why your information is out there as well. So it's up to you. Personally, I won't do that, because after you put those little paper, they have the information, they can use that against you in the future. And your profile on Facebook, think of that as nothing secure. So even if it's private, do not post any information that can potentially, against you in the future. Yes, sir.
How much education and training did you, or in terms of time, how long did you train and educate yourself to get into this?
Well, education is my hobby. Kind of, I collect diplomas. I dropped out from college when I was 19 and making about minimum wage until I was 25. And one day it's just all of a sudden what am I doing? Because at that time I worked for a small computer company. This is the 486 computer type before the pandemic, So I'm a driver, I'm a tech support, I'm the network admin in the world. I do everything for about $2,000 a month, no benefit. So just one day I'm figuring what's wrong with me? So at that time, I think this is for kind of the first recession or something. I have to borrow $100 from my friend to apply for school. I started my associate degree when I was 25, and after that, before I graduated, I got my first job. Okay, then I realized that wow, okay, so education will pay. So I go for my bachelor degree, and I find one thing: I can use my homework to turn in as a report at work. So it's a win-win situation. I can do the homework and work at the same time, and they like it. And I got a raise. So wow, that's easy. Okay. But after I got my bachelor degree, I kind of feel, wow, I'm kind of lost. I need to have some motivation to do report at work. So I go for my MBA. I start reading another newspaper and use what I find in the newspaper, turn it as a homework and turn it into the employer at the same time. And I get raised again. So wow, okay, that's good. At that time, the economic pickup again, most of the companies, they will pay for school. So they pay for my education. So why not? But surprisingly, a lot of people don't take the benefit. When I worked for City Los Angeles, at the old days, they give the employee free ticket in Cal State LA to get an MBA, but nobody do it. That's why they cancel it. But today, everybody regret, they want the money, but nobody have it. So yeah, I'm still at school right now. I'm 40. So from 25 to now, I'm still at school. And I'm looking at probably getting another master's degree on forensic psychology. Either forensic psychology or future study. I'm trying to compare these two programs right now because it's kind of interesting. And I foresee that this knowledge can help me make more money as well. That's my motivation. That's why I like school. So learning is non-stop. Does that answer the question, sir?
For the most part.
Yeah. Any other question? You have a question, sir? 7 more minutes, come on. Yes. Life-threatening situation. On the IT or the university part? University part, okay. I will have people claim that they are adopted by aliens and they harass it's some weird people. They actually approach me doing like some networking events. That's why I normally present as IT professional, not as a PI, because a lot of people will approach me. And the person keep calling me daily for almost 6 months. Because he's thinking the aliens after him, the CIA, FBI is after him. And I don't think this is really a threat. Okay, the other case, when I worked for a government agency last year, there's a layoff, and we received bomb threat. And the PD refused to take the case because there's not enough evidence, and I have to take the case. So I have to, based on one email, that's just high-tech thing, an investigate merge. I have to, based on one email, to trace who's the potential suspect. And at that time, I have to have a bulletproof vest, and that's not really life-threatening because nothing happened so far. But you have to be prepared all the time. And well, okay. The other thing I can tell you is when I work in the jail, I have the map of the jail and I have a screwdriver with the population. So it's also a life-threatening situation as well. That's the reason I want to look like evening. Because if I wear suit and ties in jail, they know I have something with me. They will, something may happen to me. Does that answer the question? Okay, thank you.